Hi everyone, welcome to Hino. Today we are going to do some training on the documentation. So what you're going to do is go to your document tab. It's going to bring you to your dashboard. The left side is for the individual clinician that is signed in, so in this case me. And the right side is for the clinic as a whole. Missing documents, that means that someone was checked in and no documentation has been started yet. Open notes, progress notes, discharges, and evals, those are all documents that have been started but not finalized. So let me go to the eval. We're going to do the eval, progress note, and discharge today. So when the patient is checked in, that is when they are going to populate inside the documentation. So as you can see, here's the one that I just checked in. You're going to click Start. There are 3 actions that you will see here. Start means it hasn't been started. Edit means that it has been started but not finalized. And View means that it's been finalized. So I'm going to click Start. It's going to bring me to the beginning page. If this is an eval, if there are no diagnosis codes here, you can simply click Edit Chart. It'll take you to the chart and you can enter in your diagnosis codes. You have a couple of options. You can use start from scratch, meaning you can use a template from scratch, or you can choose a previous document. I'm going to start from scratch for the eval and then show you the use previous document in the progress note. So I'm just going to choose the knee and click Start Eval. Standard is just a standard SOAP note. You can leave it checked. And then there's the knee. So create eval. You have a couple options. You can scroll to see everything, or you can go along the top. This is what I prefer, but you can choose either. So you can enter in some information here. I'm just going to enter in some blah information just so you can see what it looks like. These buttons right here are called quick text links. In the documentation setup video, I explained how to set up these quick texts. You can have partial phrases or complete phrases. There's subjective, objective, the assessment, your plan. This is your plan of care for your patient. So how often you want them to come per week and for how many weeks. The codes, these are just estimated codes that you think you may use during the patient's treatment. So you just move them to the right side. The right box is the box that you're going to be, are the active codes that you're going to be using throughout the treatment. And then the left side is all the codes that are there. I'm just going to put in some random values here just so we have a baseline so you can see what it looks like. There's other text boxes down here that you can utilize. Short-term and long-term goals. We give you 3 boxes, but you only need to fill in 1 box per short-term and long-term. Going to click Save, and you can save throughout as well. Under Documents, this is going to be the fax history for this particular document. You can see the patient's previous documents, so you can click on them and view them for reference if needed. Any outgoing and incoming faxes for this patient, as well as uploads. So if you uploaded anything into the patient's profile, you'd be able to see it here. You can save and close, preview, approve and fax, and approve. Save and close is when you want to save it and close it to finish it later. Preview is going to create a PDF document that's going to download, and you can open it up to preview your eval. So there it is. This would be your logo. This is the patient's referring doctor, your clinic, the type of documentation and the date, the patient's information, and then anything that you put into the eval. Notice that I left boxes blank. Any boxes that are left blank are not going to populate on your documentation, so you don't have to worry about empty spaces. There's your signature, and then there's the location for the doctor's signature. To approve and fax, this means that you're going to finalize the document as well as fax it to that patient's doctor. The left or the right side, this is going to auto-populate as the patient's referring doctor. The left side is all of your providers, all of the doctors in your fax list. So for example, if the patient says, hey, this is my orthopedic, can you also send it to my primary? You can go through your provider list, double click on the patient's primary, and then you can send it out. You can also just approve it. So if you just want to approve it and you don't want to fax it, you can do that as well. If, for example, the patient calls you and tells you something, or you forgot to put something in your eval or documentation, you can simply click View and add addendum. When you do that, under Subjective, it's going to ask you for an addendum reason. So, forgot to put in some info. When you've updated anything, you can hit approve. And there you go. Now you'll see for this date of service, he has two. This is the original, and then this is the one with the addendum. Eval, progress note, and discharge are all the same layout. So I'm just going to show you a couple things in the progress note. In the progress note, I'm going to show you the use previous document feature. In this feature, you can choose a document from that same patient, or you can choose a document from a different patient to copy over into your progress note. For this time, I'm just going to use this eval from this date, and I'm going to click Create Progress Note. And you're going to notice that all of my information that I put in here copied over. So now I can just add to it, enter in some additional features that were not in the other portion in the other document, update it, change some measurements if you need to, update your goals if they have changed or gotten better, and then you're good. So you can go ahead and either hit approve and fax to fax it to the doctor, or you can just hit approve and you're all done. For discharge, we have two different discharges. We have planned discharge and we have unplanned discharge. Planned discharge is just like the progress note and eval. Unplanned discharge, however, is a little different. You can go in here and you have to actually pick your patient, and then you're going to click Start. You're going to choose your method. I'm just going to use a standard, just a regular standard soap note because this is an unplanned discharge. I don't know why this patient never came back. I don't know why they're not returning my phone calls. I don't know anything about that. So you're going to go through here, And under discharge, you're going to change this to unknown. And when it asks you if you want to leave, you're going to click go ahead and leave. And it's going to change the document a little bit for you. When you choose unknown for the type of discharge, it's not going to make you type in as much information as it would a regular discharge. So maybe the discharge reason is patient never returned. Maybe he had 3 visits, he canceled or no-showed to one of them, and his last visit was on this date. That is all you have to put in this discharge note. If you know some information, you can put it in here, but you do not need to. So then you can just go ahead and hit approve. Oh, see, it yelled at me here. Apparently for this patient, he needed a diagnosis code. So if you're missing anything in your documentation, Hino is going to let you know. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Chart. And I'm going to go in. And I'm going to put in my diagnosis code. I'm just going to go in here and pick one of my favorites. So these are your favorites. Those customized diagnoses that you put in during the setup training video, these are your favorites. So I'm just going to pick one, select it, apply changes, and it's going to take me right back to the eval. Now I can approve it. Because I didn't save it, this is why this is happening. All right, so he has now been discharged. So this is the one we just did. I just did an unplanned discharge on him. I'll go in and I'll do another one. Just so you can see. This one is under edit. So I already started this one. So I'm going to go in here and click unknown for discharge type. I'm going to go in and choose my discharge reason. So patient never returned. He came maybe 4 times, canceled twice, and his last visit, we'll say, was the 31st. Go through. He doesn't have a diagnosis code either. So you want to make sure that these are put in. There's his diagnosis codes. I'm going to hit approve. And that's my unplanned discharge. Planned discharge is the same as progress note and eval. It's going to ask you what document you want to use. It's going to ask you for all of the information that you have. It's not like unplanned discharge. So that is all I have for you today. That is eval, progress note, and discharge. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@hino.io. And we look forward to seeing you at the next video. Have a great day.